is P4L, and I'm coming back with another review of a Ocular Max / Mastermind Creations figure. This is their Perfection Series PS-04 Azalea the Warrior, and as you can see, it's a lovely tiny little box that houses our G1 Arcee. Alright, looking at the packaging, you can see nice little images on various sides here and artwork by King. As usual, some warning on the bottom. On the back, we have that cool little G1S transformation from alt to robot mode. And then you have the G1 style bio and the spec sheet. Alright. Out of packaging, you just open it up. And like I said, the box is super tiny, which makes sense for such a svelte and small figure. But you can open up the clamshell and you will get Azalea, like so. You also get a couple of other things, like the bio card. Just, I don't know if this is plastic or not. It looks like it's paper. And again, another bio, as well as the stats. Nicely done instruction manuals. You'll see all the different accessories that you get with her, including 2 pistols, 3 variety of faces, and 3 extra sets of hands that are included in addition to the fist hands that she comes with. The instructions are quite good, and then it actually gives you some additional detail about some extra mobility that you'll see once we get into transformation. So, first things first, let's take a quick 360 of her. And you can see she looks quite nice, really tiny. First thing I'll do is actually show a comparison off with Streak, MP Streak. Very tiny. You can see just how small she is in her alt mode. Pretty wide. Here she is with Rouge. Advanced Toys Rouge on the left, Azalea on the right. See, it's considerably smaller in both length and a decent amount smaller in width. The one thing that they do also come with, this Azalea also comes with, is this spoiler piece, I guess. It's easiest to actually get it in after you open it, but since I've loosened this up already, I'll show you what it looks like here. It's just 2 round pegs. For me personally, both have their ups and downs when it comes to alt mode. I think I like some parts of this better on the front, and I like the parts of the back here better for Rouge. And I think the side looks more like a door here than here. Interior, I guess you get a steering wheel, so that's a little bit better, but it looks like more like seats here. So all in all, they have their trade-offs. It really will come down to your personal preference. Alright. The one thing I'll say about the alt mode that I think would have made this look better is if it had a longer or like higher windshield here. So coming in with her guns. Her guns are nicely detailed. We'll show that off very quickly. Nicely molded. Even has a little splash of orangish yellow there. And a trigger hole and a peg. What you're supposed to do is actually push this down. You'll see this tab on the back. You flip the guns backwards and tab them into these little slots back here. So she has weapon storage in alt mode. Looks pretty nice. She does have some kind of like silicone-y, I don't know if they're really rubber, but they feel more like silicone-y slicks for wheels. On the back she has a little splash of paint on her heels to indicate, you know, the brake lights. And she has some translucent pieces up here. But yeah, that's really it for alt mode. Let's go ahead and get into her transformation, which is way better than Rouge's, having just transformed it to get Rouge to do the comparison, having to relive that. I actually had to go back and watch my own review to walk my way through it. For her, it's fairly simple. So we're going to come back here, flip these open. We're going to come on the legs, the side, you'll see these white pegs here. Just pull on the outside and pull these up. And on the front, you just really need to release these tabs. I'm going to actually do that separately and keep these kind of tabbed in just so everything on the front's not a floppy mess. And deal with the legs first. So coming down here, and this is actually an alternate transformation that I have. They actually suggested that you go like this. I don't think that's any cleaner. And this makes it one more step in transformation. So I leave mine like this, and I think it actually makes it more flat and flattering from underneath. Not that you're really going to look at it from underneath. But anyway, we're going to pull out these wheels. This will allow the leg to flip down. Then you're going to tuck these wheels back in, but you're actually going to tuck it in a little bit further. You're going to push it like this where it was before, but then you're going to give this hinge a little push, and that's going to let it sink in just a little bit more. The reason for that is once you flip this around and close it up, you'll see it, the squared off edge matches up and aligns like that perfectly. You're going to bring the leg and the hips around and down, and then the thigh, upper thigh, will tab into place there. The lower shin will slide forward, and then the toe will flip down. And that's one leg done. Same thing on the other side again. We're going to pull on the wheel first to get that freed. That allows the lower leg to come through. I'm going to flip that wheel back in. Once it's in this position, give it a little push on this hinge. That will allow you to get that all the way down. Rotate this 180 degrees and flip it closed so it lines up there. Bringing the leg down and around and tab that upper thigh piece to the hip. Straighten out the legs, straighten out the shin, get the toe forward, and there we have her legs all done. Let's come to the backpack. This is on a double hinge. Just lift it up, and I like leaving it like this for now, kind of like so. Now we'll get to upper body. So before, you could have untabbed this. I just didn't like doing it just because it kind of flops around a bit. So now we'll go ahead and untab that and come down here. Pull the arms down. They're pegged in up here, so you just release that. Bring them down, extend the arms at this kind of double jointed or maybe triple jointed elbow, and cover up the back of the arm. You're gonna rotate the arm around, and then the shoulder around, and then the arm around. Same thing on the other side, just straighten that out. Bring this around. Here we go. Coming inside here, you're gonna pull out the head. The head is on kind of a double hinge, just bring that out. So this is a very important step. You're going to want to fold the chest down like this and make sure it's flush here before you transform the backpack. The reason being is you might not be able to see it that well, but there's little tiny tabs here that go into this slot on the back. If you try to transform it the other way, you're going to probably shear off or damage those tiny little tabs here. So remember to have this backpack all the way down first. Speaking of backpacks, you're going to want to go ahead and flip down the seats that were here. You need to do that because that's how that'll give you enough clearance for the backpack to tab into the bottom as well as the top. And then this piece here can finally flip up. You'll see these kind of like C-clips, and these grooves there will tab into place. These front wheel wells will slide up on these sliders and then fold them back in like so, and then rotate these 90 degrees, or if you like them this way, you can keep them this way as well, but you have the option to rotate them 90 degrees. Same thing on the other side. Slide it all the way up and then back into that section. And with that, we have Azalea in robot mode. And I think she looks really nice. We'll do comparisons in a bit, but before we do that, let's do a robot mode review. So first off, I think her proportions are quite nice. She has die cast in her toes and her lower legs, as far as I can tell, and I think that might be it. I don't think anything else, as far as I can tell, is die cast. But that's good that she has the stability in her lower legs. Doing a quick 360. Very clean. Nice secured backpack. I don't know what that rattling sound is though. Oh, it's her wheel. It's her wheels. Okay, but nothing else is like, unlike Rouge, unless you had, which had like kind of floppy backpack, unless you did some kind of weird transformations that weren't official. This one's actually quite secure. As far as articulation goes, her head is on a ball joint in the actual base of the head itself, and the neck is on that double hand. So you can actually get it to come out quite far, or you can tuck it in a little bit like I do. But she can look all the way around. She has shoulders that are frictioned and go all the way around and slightly ratcheted, like faux ratchets on the shoulders going out. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then she has ball jointed wrists, which they use to make it easy for you to swap out the hands. So let's actually show off the hands real quick. She has a couple like this. You can see they're very subtly different. This one has the pointer finger kind of straightened out. This one has them all kind of curved around. Which other ones do we have? We also have the gripping one, which is for the gun. So we'll put that one in for now. But yeah, there's the wrist joint. She actually does have 2 points of waist swivel. So she has one down here, and then one in her, like, kind of, I don't know, like mid-chest. And I think they're both ball jointed because you can get a lot of range. So it reminds me very much of SH Figure Arts in that regard. So that was one of the complaints that a lot of people had with Rouge, is that they couldn't rotate. But she can rotate 360 if she really wanted to, but that's more than you really need. But yeah, she can go down decently far at the waist. And then decently back. And then side to side if you want to give her some catwalking or some awkward looking poses. Her hips are where it gets kind of interesting. So you might have just saw me like raise them back up. So this is the default location for them. And you can only get so far out, so far back, and so far forward. Not very much range. But again, like SH Figure Arts, if you pull down on them, you can see how much of a difference it is. It's probably like 3 or 4, maybe 5 centimeters. Millimeters. She can actually get way more range. So it's nice that they included something like that. Thigh swivel. She has, so the one issue with mine is, at least on this leg, this joint doesn't tab in that well. So it's not really supposed to use that for transformation. I mean, articulation. You're supposed to use this. And she gets a lot of range just from this joint here. So much so that it actually pushes in this lower thigh piece. And I think that's by design. But I wish they actually didn't do that, because it already has quite a bit of range without making use of that. And the little bit of extra it has, I don't know if it's worth it to have to kind of rearrange this piece. It's a minor complaint. But yeah, this leg, this lower joint on mine doesn't tab in that well. This one's completely fine. Ankle tilts, side to side, and then forward and back. Or up and down, I guess, on the ankle here. And then the toes that we saw before can angle up. They can't really angle down though. So yeah, lots of great articulation. If we bring the gun back in play, you can pull this all the way down and pull it all the way until it clicks. And you can use this little circle to peg into either one of her thighs. or you can have her hold it in her gripping hand, and her finger actually goes into where the trigger is supposed to be. It's really quite nice. Oh, I didn't mention her ratchets going out. She has ratchets going outwards, but friction going forward and back. I don't know that I like the ratchets that much going outwards, just because of the A stance. So it's either here, or one click out is there. Which again, with the ankles, works fine. But I think it's just a little too wide. So yeah, I mean, it's a trade-off. I don't love it, but it does make her quite stable. Again, that was another complaint for Rouge, was the stability. So let's bring out some comparisons. Here she is with MP10. Oops, sorry about that. Here she is with a Carbot, and you can see just how big she compares to an official Carbot, as well as with the official Hot Rod, and I think they scale pretty well together. And just bringing more of the movie cast. I think she is a little short compared to Blur, but I'm actually not sure how Blur is supposed to scale. And then finally, the figure I just spent another 20 minutes transforming, watching my own video, is Fans Toys Rouge. You can see she's considerably taller than Azalea here. So as far as your choices between the two, I think it's not even close. This figure is much more fun, and I think her face sculpt and her overall proportions look better than Arcee. But if you care about height and weight, this one will win out. But just to give you an idea, I mean, that's a pretty huge backpack. And this is the kind of alternate transformation that I think works best for the backpack here. I also think overall the things I complained about with Arcee before were like these gaps here for the mushroom pegs, which they don't really have on Azalea. I do think the color of this is a little bit better than the color on Azalea. I'll give it that. And she does have much more die cast. I think most of the leg is die cast. But as far as an overall figure, both in robot and overall figure and robot and transformation between the two modes, it's not even a contest. And I think that's without any of my potential bias as being an MMC reviewer. This figure is way more fun to transform, and I think it's a lot more dynamic and stable as well. So yeah. As far as the head, you can go ahead and pull off this front portion here. And you can see the face is connected with just a little circular post, bringing out her three alternate phases. Let's try to take a quick look at them. And let's move this off to the side. Do a quick zoom in. So she has the visor face, a much more happy, kind of almost like Joker / Harley Quinn face, I feel. And then the screaming, oh my gosh face. And each of them work as you would expect. With the visor piece, we'll just go ahead and peg that on. Like so. Bringing the head back in, you'll see that this little peg here is the only thing you really need to worry about. And that's it. And you have Azalea with her alternate head sculpt. So that's it for robot mode. Let's go ahead and put the fist back on. You do need to have the fist hands in place in order to transform her properly back into her alt mode. So let's get started with the back. As we did before, we're going to go ahead and rotate this in, pull this out forward, and pull it down on that sliding joint. So again, on this side, pull that in, slide that down on the sliding joint, The backpack, you can unclip on these two pieces and just pull it down as we did before, kind of low and like this, kind of at a 90 degree. That just gets it out of the way. Pull back on the backpack piece, releasing these tabs and this tab here that we talked about before. Straighten this out, open it up. Now, the upper body, push the neck back so you don't get any interference. You're going to pull this piece forward, and then you're going to collapse the neck down like so. Be careful not to scratch the face or any of the paint on the face. This is kind of all going to go like this. All right. The arms, rotate them up at the shoulders. Pull these little tabs on the back of the arms out. Then we're going to collapse the elbows like this, the double jointed elbow. And this little tab piece, or like the back of the arm piece, is going to sit right behind there while these peg into the forearms. The fish should go like that. Alright, so make sure that this is positioned like so. I guess you could probably position it angled up as well. It's really up to you. Same thing on this side. This. Yeah, I guess you could probably position it this way as well. I don't know, that seems like it's going to be a lot more dangerous. So anyway, I position it down like that. Get these up. And again, just to keep these from flopping around while you're transforming, just go ahead and collapse them and tabs them into place. We can deal with the last set of tabs later. All right. Very important, make sure your waist is all straightened out. Otherwise you might get like kind of a twisty, turny kind of alt mode where it's not level on all four sides. Same thing with the hips. Make sure your hips are all the way pushed up. And when you're dealing with the legs, you want to bring these around. And you want to make sure that the hips are square with the joints, because these can rotate, because this thigh rotation can be separate from the gray piece. So you just want to make sure everything's square both this way and this way, so that when you untab it, everything's square. Open up this section, rotate it around, and kind of fold it flat. With the leg, oh, actually we want to move these out. So just reach underneath here and pull on that hinge joint like so to release that. Then we can deal with the foot. So the foot, we're going to pull back on that little shin piece and then pull up on the toe piece. And then rotate at that lower knee joint, not the upper knee joint, to get it all the way back into place. And as I said before, this tab, you can go kind of deal with it now. All right. This wheel, you're going to have to tuck it back in so this straight piece aligns with the thigh. And that's one side is done. Same thing on the other side. So again, we're going to rotate this around, making sure that the hips are square. Untabbing here. Open this up. Rotate it around. And fold it flat. Reach in here and get the wheel out and open. The leg, pull that down. Curl the toe. Rotate at that lower knee joint. Again, not the upper knee joint, just the lower knee joint. So it looks like this. Just want to slide this just underneath there. Close up the wheel. Oh, sorry. Close up the wheel. And then we're going to come to this piece. This is going to fold back and down. You're going to just push that in so that these white tabs come down. I like to give it a little bit of a nudge here and then push this piece down as much as you can. And then close up these flaps. Yeah, there we go. Everything should look good. Again, make sure these are square. Oh, and this piece sometimes comes untied. Just tuck it back up and in, and you're good to go. As before, if you want, you can tab one or both of the guns in to the back. We'll just keep it for one for now. Oh, sorry. You want to pull up the car seats. Like so. And with that, Azalea is back in her alt mode, and we're ready for final thoughts. So like I said, I think you guys got the impression as I was doing comparisons with Rouge. I think she's a much better overall figure and more of a fun figure, especially with transformation, if you like to transform your figures. But again, if you don't like transforming your figures, or the height, the scale matters to you, that she's a little bit taller, or scales with Fans Toys Hoodlum, then go ahead, by all means, get Rouge and enjoy yourself. Go ahead and remember to click that Rouge link if you need some help on the transformation. But I really enjoy this figure overall. Aside from, again, maybe the paint difference that I saw and the height, I don't really see why anybody would really choose to have Rouge over Azalea here. So hats off to AK again. He's done a great job with the transformation. I think, did anybody else help on this design? So it looks like sculpt was Macotron and Griffith, and the design was AK. And shout outs again to the photographers Ian Reed and UNM Studios. A little shout out to me. And a little pat on the back, and then powered by MMC. So if you like this figure and you want to add her to your collection, go ahead and click on the Toy Dojo link in the description below and add her to your cart. If you have any questions or comments, or if this transformation video helped you out at all, please go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you have Rouge? Do you have Azalea? Which one do you think you like better? What reasons? If you think I'm being too biased, let me know that too. If you're going to give me a thumbs down, at least let me know why you're going to give me a thumbs down, okay? Alright, all that's it for today. I hope you have a good one.